All right, hello. I will give a minute or so for folks to come in. I'm streaming both on YouTube and IG. Welcome to folks who are coming in. As you do come in, please do say hello. Let us know where in the world you're joining from and whatever you might be sipping on. I am Jeanette the Oracle, founder and CEO of Untitled Alchemy. I am joining you from California, and I am drinking a cafe latte. Now, for my folks on YouTube, for some reason, internet has been kind of wonky. I've noticed the last stream was not that great, so it might be the same as well too. So if you want to jump over, if if the stream gets a little wonky and you want to jump over onto Instagram at Untitled Alchemy, definitely do so there. Regardless, I will be putting like timestamps and stuff on so that folks can come back through and review particular things that they want to review needed. But yeah, there's not really anything I can do about that because sometimes it's just the Wi-Fi. So, all right. So on IG, we have someone joining in from the UK. Welcome. Good evening. Good evening to the folks who are coming in here on YouTube. It's lovely to see you. As you can see with the title, we are going to be doing full moon messages for Taurus for all signs. I will be grouping the signs by elements. So it'll be fire, air, water, and earth. So the intention for the messages, it's in the context of the full moon, but specifically about getting reminders, getting guidance, or any messages additionally that might be needed, but really like reminders about what it is that you are striving for, what your goals are, what is actually going to see the new, excuse me, sip. Come on to the latte. I just have a plain latte, but vanilla latte. So hi, April from Florida. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I hope you are doing well. Hope your heart's doing well. Yeah, so the focus for this, well, that I intend for it to be, is on what we need to be reminded of in terms of what we are striving towards on a personal level. Obviously, with the last Oracle talks, I was addressing more broader, bigger issues. So definitely go and check out that Oracle talks if you have not already. That was related to the election here in the U.S., the presidential election. But these messages, my intention, we'll see what comes through. Spirit, I'm going to do a check-in first. The intention is for more personal messages. So let us go ahead and prepare. I'm going to get these timestamps so that we have that. Go ahead and sit up nice and tall. You can have your eyes open or closed, depending on your preference. And we're going to go through a few cycles of breath to center in ourselves and be fully present in this moment. So I will lead you through a 4-count inhale with a hold, a 4-count exhale with a hold, and then repeat that for 4 times. So follow along as best as you are able. Make sure your breaths, whether they are the inhale or the exhale, are as full as possible. So lower lung, middle lung, and upper lung are fully being intentionally being activated and used, okay? So inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Return to your regular breathing. Repeat after me aloud if you can, if not, just with your mind's voice internally. I welcome in and forth my highest self and the Holy Spirit to bring my consciousness, subconsciousness, and unconsciousness into alignment with my inner divinity. Please neutralize, cancel, clear, and delete any and all obstructions to this alignment, whether they are internal or external, whether I have created them or they are being imposed externally. I bring myself into this present moment fully, calling my energy back to myself, increasing my internal gravity, opening up my energy field, allowing for more space and more expression of energy from my own spirit, from the Holy Spirit within me. In this sacred space of communion with myself and the Holy Spirit, I also call in my elevated beneficial ancestors and guardian angels and protectors to be here with me now in this moment, to protect me and to clear the way for message from the Holy Spirit to come through in a way that is easy for me to receive and understand. I declare, decree this to be so for my highest and greatest good. Alrighty, welcome to folks coming in. Let me wave hi to you. So whether you're joining on YouTube or on Instagram, please do say hello as you enter the space. Don't be weird. You can just say hi. You put an emoji or whatever. And if you would like to, you can also tell your name, what area in the world you are joining from, and what beverage you might be sipping on. So first off, we're going to get messages, overall message from the Holy Spirit about what it wants to speak to us about. I gave my intention, but if there's something that actually is more important and resonant for us, we leave space for that. So let us see. Let me get a card first for the Holy Spirit. As we're waiting for this energy to come out, definitely revel in how yummy your soul feels now that you have brought yourself into alignment with yourself. Got someone joining in from California. Chicken broth with lemon. Beautiful. Welcome. Joining from LA. Welcome. All right, 2 more cards. So the cards we have out are 5 of, oh, let me write this down, 10, 15. Okay, so 5 of Pentacles is the topic of discussion, which is about change at a very basic level, but it also can mean a lot of other things too, so I will get clarifiers. I feel this now that I was just plugged into a socket. Awesome, I love to hear that. Thank you for sharing that, Free to Be Me Now. Thank you. Because that's what it feels like to come home. Our souls have a lot of energy to provide us. And like, that's before even like asking for, you know, energetic dispensation from our divine team or the Holy Spirit. So yeah, it feels incredible. And that also, it gives you an indication of the strength of the soul, the strength of you, which is why, you know, I prioritize folks doing that work. It's such a simple thing, but it really does make such a profound difference. And there is immediate results and feedback. So welcome, welcome. Got all the Lightworker Incubator alum folks in here. Okay. Awesome. So let me actually get clarifier on what this 5 of Pentacles means. Because like I said, it could be just related to the place of change and transition that we're in, because that's 5 energy overall. And then, oh, I'm being reminded. If you would like to support my work, for those of you on YouTube, see the donation for PayPal there, scrolling below on the screen. I would appreciate that support. For those of you here on IG, the donation tab is in the link in bio for me there. So I appreciate your support of the work. Thank you. So yeah, 5s always talk about transition. So much like the Wheel of Fortune, it's just a turning energy. So it can be a 5 transiting to the 6, so like whatever that next stage of growth and expansion is, or it can be a 5 retracting and coming back to a stability at a place of 4, but it might be a little bit less. This also can be an energy of investment is coming through. So you are putting energy, you know, if you are trying to shift into something new, this can talk about putting energy towards that thing, whether that is time, money, attention, learning new things, you know, certification, degrees, like, you know, it runs the gamut, but whatever that investment is in the new can talk about the 5. And it's like, you're not, this doesn't actually shift to the 6, and there is, you know, success, if you will, or some kind of return on investment until that, until you kind of match up with whatever lines up with what you're moving towards, if that makes sense. So for example, you know, you may be in pursuit of, maybe you want a promotion at your job, and it requires you maybe getting some new certifications, or like learning some new hard skills or what have you. And you're putting investments into that, and you're also applying, once you get that, applying to that job, possibly applying to other jobs. And it's like, this won't shift into the 6, i.e. like getting what you want, that new position, promotion, or, you know, new job, until, you know, you harmonize with whatever is matched up with you. So that also can be what this energy is. On the flip side of that investment side, it could be investments that you do have are not paying off, and it's in such a way where it's actually detracting from your sense of stability. Okay, so this could be literally removing yourself either on purpose or out in a way outside of your control, right? Like someone breaking up with you or getting laid off or something. And so there's a break in that relationship. And so that investment energy is no longer paying off. Or again, you've been trying to get somewhere and do something, it's not working. And now your base is being challenged. Your core resources, which is the core resources are being tapped into now because it's no longer the extra, right? So it can also mean that. This energy also for me does relate to, conflicts, could be spiritual warfare, dark magic, things like that, which definitely can be popping up. So for those of you that are doing your own personal work, maybe recently you've been focused on addressing some past life stuff. Maybe that's actually been coming up. And you've been having to resolve, and that's been bringing up some issues that kind of have been long standing in the spirit that has like come to your awareness, and it's been you're seeing how it is negatively or even malevolently impacting you in this present incarnation. This could be pushed back from doing ancestral work with the support of the healing and elevation of your ancestors, and just overall healing for the family, and malevolent ones in the ancestry essentially showing their ass, right? So there's so many things that this can relate to. You have to see what speaks to you. I will try to focus in on like one thing if possible with the clarifying cards, but there's a lot that can be addressed with that, but it is predominantly, I would say, the word that's coming through right now is a renegotiation, or renegotiation. It's like trying to get to a new place of harmony and match up with that which is going to be beneficial for you to be able to grow. It's like it's actually tied to like Gemini energy, like dealing with the ecosystem that allows you to flourish. Not a message that come through. This is just this one card. I haven't even got the clarifiers out, but okay. Investment has been coming up for me a lot lately, for me, actually related to body and image. Interesting. Yeah. I look at this kind of as welcome to folks who are here on YouTube. Please do say hello. Let us know where you're joining from. This is reminding me of the principle of understanding the momentum that one builds towards their desires. That even though you may be doing something in this moment now, it's outside like immediate concerns. More often than not, it's about wanting to have a desired experience or impact later, whether that is later in the day, later in the week, a month from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, depending on, what type of investments we're talking about. And so, that consciousness, that awareness of the commitments that you're making, because this is still Taurus energy. This is Mercury and Taurus, yeah. The commitments that you're making and that which is required to bring those commitments to pass. Not that you have control over like who or what shows up to be in partnership with you in that, but that on your side of the negotiating table, that you are clear about what it is that you want at any given time frame. Because I'm speaking conceptually because there's so many things this could be. But that you be clear about what it is that you want, and depending on varying timelines, the components that you deem to be valuable, um, that need to be a part of that relationship, that contract, that commitment that you end up making. And the wisdom as well of that too, and that's one of the reasons why this card is a tough energy to deal with at times. But this is in particular with Taurus. And for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know I've said this. Taurus has, every sign has like a double-edged sword related to their nature. With Taurus in particular, they don't commit to things lightly, because when they do commit, they commit and they stay in. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort to actually shift out of that once they've said yes to something or someone or a way of being and showing up. And if there's not a centering and a proactive negotiation of what it is they want from the outset of making a particular commitment or getting into something, a job, relationship, whatever, they stay there regardless of how toxic, traumatic, etc. it is, because they're not afraid of like working through hard times. And so in their mind, they'll be like, okay, if struggle and obstacles coming up, this is just something to work through, right? Which, you know, obviously has value. You want to be able to stay with things consistently over time. Like that's the wisdom that Earth energy overall gives us, and we are grateful for it. But that perspective can be there for everything to one's own detriment, and be like, okay, I can just work through this and work through it. And you keep like sticking with it. And because there's a higher, because the commitment to the yes is so deep, the ability to withstand hardship that comes up against that yes is very strong. So there's a lot of perseverance, and there can be a lot of suffering in the process. And this is a quality that we all have. It's just a matter of where it shows up for us in our life, because everybody has Taurus in their chart. Okay, all the archetypes are all facets of ourselves, and they just show up in varying degrees. Obviously, with full moon in Taurus, this is strong. And if I remember correctly, this actually conjunct with Uranus in Taurus. So it's coming through, it's blaring through really loudly right now. And it's important to talk about and address because of these big cycle changes that we are literally in the midst of. Obviously, you know, we have the political big shifts that came in, but astrologically, Pluto is shifting into Aquarius, beginning a brand new generational cycle, a new cycle in a new sign. But it is for us going to be generational because it's going to be 20 years. Then we are essentially in the last like 60 days or less, actually, of the North Node in Aries, which means we're going to be shifting back into Pisces, which is going to bring a brand new Zodiac cycle of the nodes shifting. That's a huge shift. And in the next couple of months, and next year or so, we do have both Saturn and Neptune shifting into Aries, leaving Pisces, that last sign, and starting a brand new cycle with the kickoff in Aries. So there's a lot of big energy of change in the spirit, in planetary influences. And obviously we see this in our physical lives. And so this consideration of being able to sit in this space of, okay, what is it that I want? What am I willing to invest? And can I more clearly and effectively sit in this posture of renegotiation as I assess where I am right now, and bring back to the forefront of my mind what it is that I actually require moving forward. Okay. So this isn't a settling energy, it's intentional manifestation. I like that too. So we got renegotiation. And intentional manifestation. Not this being the whole message though. Welcome to folks coming in on IG. Welcome. Welcome to people on YouTube. For the folks here on YouTube, let me know how the stream is going. I actually can't tell on my side if things are wonky. So let me know if the stream is not that great. Because if so, there might have to be a situation next time where I either just do IG or like maybe try to find a hotspot. But if you can, you know, I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So does that make sense, regardless for folks who are here watching live? Is this understanding making sense? So renegotiation. And the fact that it's coming through as renegotiation instead of negotiation means that in at least one area, if not multiple, is, you know, life right now. In at least one area, we are emotionally shaky about an opportunity, a decision, or circumstance that we're facing and dealing with. And while the emotions and the swirling minds, you know, are things to be mindful of, the way to kind of break out of any spiraling or looping and things like that is really to double down on what is showing up for you can actually be used to get to where you want to go. And if there's nothing there that actually can be used, then that clearly tells you like, no, there's not an option here. If there is something, then it's like, okay, then we can start negotiation. But yeah, there's no negotiation if there's nothing of value as it relates to what it is that you want long term. And I'm going to say more so long term just because of like, these big cycles. So a lot of these considerations that we have, I don't think are going to be like, you know, quick fixes. All right, so let me see, just for a little more focus and specificity, what this Five of Pentacles, Seven of Cups here with the Strength card, or lust in this deck. Seven of Cups is options, you know, so it's everything that I spoke about in terms of what that Five of Pentacles can be is just what it is. But this emotionality piece, when there is a lack of clarity, when you feel unsettled, when you can't seem to think clearly, and you're feeling an experience of like anxiety or what have you, about, again, a potential opportunity or a situation where how you're trying to navigate, etc. That lack of clarity tells you that the way to get to clarity comes down to revisiting what it is that you actually want, and what things you've assessed at this point are needed to be able to get you there in the short term, okay, or long term, depending. But that will bring clarity. But it's getting the values of like, okay, I know I need this, and I'm getting the word reassess. So that means that you've already done the work and you're essentially having to remind yourself of what you already know to be true, and making sure to look at the situation, whatever the situation is or situations, through those eyes. Okay. And to not get pulled down into the fear body. because you should be feeling empowered like the Strength card, not emotionally all over the place with the Seven of Cups. If the Seven of Cups energy is what you are experiencing, that means you haven't gotten to the truth of your own inner wisdom yet. So I invite you to journal, meditate, spend with your ancestors, but get that clarity. Welcome from the UK. We got another UK person. Yay. Hi. Yes, spiraling over decision. Yeah. There's no spiraling unless there's a wavering of desire. So the next card that came out in terms of the action to take for us overall for what we're talking about is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands literally is passion and desire and taking action on that, but the Knights are very clear. They are not second themselves. They're not deliberating and what have you. Like it's clear. It is known. This, of course, is Sagittarius energy. Honestly, whenever I think Sagittarius energy, I think of a bow and arrow. The arrow is the desire, what the desire is. So step all the way back out of the emotions and be like, hey, why am I actually like pursuing this thing? Like what really is the larger context here? And what really is, and it's practical considerations because it's Pentacles. Spirit is showing up as the universe. So the universe talks about cycles ending and cycles beginning, the transition of that. It also, of course, represents protection. There's also a lot of sovereignty I'm getting out of this card as well, too. But with this card here, the Knight of Wands, we are deciding where the energy goes, where our power goes, where this intentional manifestation energy is going. We're going to be helped by this as well, too, because none of this is like urgent per se, depending on when certain decisions have to be made, of course. But we do have Mercury going retrograde soon in Sagittarius, I believe on the 25th, so the week after next. So we're currently in the pre-shadow. But be mindful of the cycles that you're in, okay? All of us have long at this point where we've experienced whatever it is that we're experiencing, that we might be dealing with at some point in the past. We were just younger at the time, and it was just in the context of the world that we were in at that time. But the same issues were actually still coming up, even though we might not have been aware of it at the time. But now we are older, we have the benefit of seeing what's required, how long things take, how certain decisions we make at certain times in our life have a big impact on us later on. And so we're being given the opportunity to, I mean, always, but especially now, there's important decisions being made now about how we want to show up. And what new things we want to do moving forward. As well, you know, these are, the impact is large, but the choices are small. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's really more so like a yes and no kind of thing. But it sets the stage for the environment for what's next. Welcome to folks coming in. Hello. Got lots of people over here on YouTube. Please say hello if you have not yet already on YouTube. I want to see who is there. Welcome to folks on IG. All right, outcome is Princess of Cups. Listen to your own inner spirit, your own inner intuition. It is always peaceful. It will never be wrapped up in emotion. When things are aligned for you, there are flow. If you are on an emotional high of sorts or emotional low, that's when you want to side-eye that feeling and just be like, okay, there's more here. Because peace is the path. The execution of peace in the world is not easy, but the internal experience is easy, is peaceful. At the heart of the matter, we have the Knight of Wands. So we have the opportunity to evolve, elevate, choose something bigger, something brighter for ourselves. We can go higher, we can expand, we can have a greater experience of more and more abundance that is available. It is absolutely available. Do we have the courage to say yes and step into something more? Okay. Welcome. Joining eating spicy lentil harissa soup and sparkling grapefruit water. Ooh, that sounds yummy. Welcome. Alrighty, so given all of that, like I said, it runs the gamut for what this Five of Pentacles is going to mean for you. So wherever those light bulbs went off in the beginning from the things I touched on, then you know what you need to be focused on. It'll at least be one thing, if not all, depending on the type of work that you're doing. The past life stuff is coming up again. So yeah, if you are doing past life work stuff, more likely than not, there's a negative impact of something that needs to be resolved there that is playing out in your current incarnation that needs to be dealt with. Okay, so we're going to shift now to messages for all the signs and grouped by element. We'll be starting with fire signs, then air, then water, then earth. I invite you to listen in the order of your rising sign, sun sign next, moon sign, and then north node sign. But obviously, I do say to listen to all of them because we have all of the elements within us. It's just a matter of degree. Is the stream good over here on YouTube? I'm annoyed. Last week it was not great. I'm gonna get the element energies out first before I get the cards. So bear with me one moment. Also, happy new moon in Taurus. Officially happens tomorrow, I believe. Oh, and Saturn is going direct. Yeah. A lot of big energy. Saturn's going direct. Somehow I missed one of the cards. 1 second. It's clear over there. Okay, good. Awesome. Listen, the Mercury energy is already starting. Mercury energy is already starting. And of course, I'm looking for the Ace of Swords, and that's what's deciding to hide. I already feel it because it's going to be actually happening in my third house. So I know I'm going all sorts of wonky. Okay, here we go. Also want to find the Hierophant card if I can. How's everybody doing? Are we feeling much better after this is more so for folks in the US. Are we feeling a little bit better after the shenanigans of the presidential election? Okay. All right, got my elemental cards out. So let's get some messages. Folks not doing well. It's like no comments about that. For each, 1 second. So for each element, one card is going to be a goal or desire you need to pursue and keep in the forefront of your mind. And it will be the primary thing that actually impacts most of the stuff that you're dealing with, is the intention for that. And second card will be the cycle that is closing out. So essentially, those behaviors, thoughts, patterns, what have you, related to old cycles that you need to essentially like stay away from because it's closing out. Doesn't necessarily mean that it is bad in and of itself. It's just old cycle. So let dead things die, right? Just my way to dance and have to leave now. We'll catch up later. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you. Enjoy dance. Enjoy dance. Okay. Fire signs. So Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Preferably one card, but what is it that y'all need to focus on? What goal or desire you have to keep at the forefront of your mind and lead with that actually is the most important in order to align with literally your highest trajectory path that is available for you at this stage in your human incarnation. I mean, point blank, 2 of wands, or 2 of swords, excuse me, with the Fool here at the bottom. It's interesting. The Fool is literally the beginning of a new cycle. And the 2 of wands, or I keep wanting to say 2 of wands. 2 of wands is your energy. But this thing about trusting your own I was about to say trusting your intuition, but different than trusting your instincts, and that's different than trusting spirit. Interesting energy. 1 second. So there's like this, it's important to respect and consider both your intuition and your instincts. Okay? Respect both. And acknowledge that which is also deeper and behind those two things that's at play. I'm trying to like ground that in more practical because, like, you know, swords is like thoughts and stuff, but and communication, but it feels very esoteric. Verification is Four of Swords and the High Priestess, so it's just gonna be esoteric. Let me be obedient. Let me be obedient. So, like, real talk, the path of peace is important. This is another Libra energy. I believe that's Jupiter in I forgot what planet is in Libra with that. 1 second. One moment. Yeah, it is Jupiter. Okay. Yeah, it's just like choose the path of peace. I mean, is Aries out here like on a rampage? What's going on, Aries? Maybe what I was saying towards the end of that overall message for the Spirit for our focus today is really something that you need to hear. But yeah, like this is very much internal work. And it really is feeling like showing up in a different kind of way for you. It's simple, it's not necessarily easy, but it is something that you are aware of, and it's something that definitely has been top of mind for you. You have to do some reassessment, like I mentioned before, about that, but I'm really focused on Aries, even though this is supposed to be like all fire signs, but the Aries energy is of all the fire signs anyway. So maybe not maybe, everybody is dealing with this on some level. Aries may have difficulty in doing this because the instinctual nature, which is the body nature, may be bucking, right, from the spirit, and need to essentially continue to be tamed. Leo may be having trouble with trusting his intuition and maybe being pulled too much to what other people, places, and things are doing that are pulling it off track. Sagittarius may be going too far into the instinct and the spirit and the idea of things. May need to ground back into instinct a little bit more. So, you know, depending on where you are, where this is coming up, and, you know, look at your chart, etc. But yeah. Okay. Ooh, lots of folks came in. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome. As you come in, please say hello. Let us know where you're joining from. Got lots of folks over on YouTube too. Say hello as you come in. People are quiet today. What's going on? Is everything all right? So now with the fire signs, I want to get messages about the actual cycle that's closing that you really want to make sure you move away from and let close out. And we got a couple cards for that. 7 of Cups on the bottom, emotionality. Page of Swords or Princess of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, Temperance, and 5 of Swords. Yeah, it's like, it's this popping off energy. The Page of Swords wants to fight. 5 of Swords is doing whatever you want to do to get what you want, like the means justifying the ends, essentially, and not being concerned about the collateral damage in pursuit of your goals. This feels like a call. Again, it would be something that you're aware of, but if you're being told to, overall, fire signs, to choose the path of peace, however that is showing up for you, yeah, because even with this 5 of Swords, it could be a situation where maybe you're not instigating, you might be behaving in a passive aggressive way because you don't want to speak up. And then you end up being taken advantage of. That's the other side of the 5 of Swords, by others who are 10 toes down on what it is they want. Right? So this 2 of Pentacles, like going back and forth, about facts, not feelings. Yeah, and this Temperance card, blending of intuition and instincts and the deeper soul nature, deeper peace, etc., is there and available. It just needs to be paid attention to. So yeah, I already mentioned with that 7 of Cups, when this energy shows up and you're not clear, that's an indication that you need to take a step back, because you should be clear about things. It might not be, again, easy to take action and do what you know you need to do, but the fog, the emotional spiraling, whatever's there that pops up, means that you are not being honest or aligned or clear on your goals. Okay, so that's that. Any questions about that, fire signs? We're gonna move next. All right, air signs. This is going to be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So what you need to focus on, that particular goal or desire that is most important for you to focus on right now, and to keep at the forefront of your mind as you make these decisions with what you're dealing with. Another single card. You got the Star card and the Commitment card itself, the Hierophant. Okay, so the Star is a card of healing after liberation from something, right? Because this comes after the Tower, and the Tower comes after the Devil. So it's a card of healing, but also represents goals, dreams, aspirations, vision, what's next, possibilities. It's also a card about ascension, spiritual evolution, etc. So there's a lot that is represented here. Okay, so this is feeling a little bit more like practical and clear, because it's not as like internal, although it is a little still because it's Aquarius. But this is feeling specifically about reminding yourself of what the ultimate goal is, regardless of context, what the ultimate long-term goal is. Okay. And keeping that in mind as you make decisions to say yes or no to particular commitments. And sometimes those commitments, given the long-term vision and goal, may be like, I'm going to stick with this, whatever. I'm going to invest. I'll say it this way. I'm going to invest my energy, because we're going to talk about investments. I'm going to invest for 30 days doing this, or I'm going to invest for 1 year doing this, or I'm going to invest for 2 to 3 years doing this, or 10 years doing this, whatever again, as it relates to the long-term goal. These shorter benchmarks and steps that you can see can be weaved into and built into the long-term goal or vision that you have. But you have to keep that in the forefront of the mind, not a short-term benchmark. Like, this is long-term Aquarius energy. Like, Aquarius energy is long-term goal. So it's not what you would accomplish in a few years. Things that you can accomplish in the short term are benchmarks, are steps to build a long-term vision. Okay. So this way of approaching is a way that blends the energies, that balances and blends the energies of Leo and Aquarius. Because remember, the zodiac signs exist on polarity. So there's a core essence or a core concept at the root of them. And then we just skew to one pole or the other, depending on how we are going to show up. Okay. So this vision of long-term goals, desires, etc., can be paired with Leo energy of achieving short-term goals or desires. It's like collecting, it's almost like a collecting of wealth in a way. If you're a video game person, like, you know, when you're playing RPGs and you're like picking up all these skills, like doing all these like side, side quests, it's kind of that. There's a purpose behind those things, and they necessarily feed into the longer goal and vision. But if you don't see that, if you're not intentional about that manifestation, again that phrase, intentional manifestation, then you lose track. You go off path to this. All right. The important thing, though, because the Hermit, or not the Hermit, the High Priest card is coming here at the bottom. This is coming through because it's important to be clear about what you're committing to, what you're choosing to invest in. Because again, you are air signs. In particular, this is because it's speaking to an issue that you have. Depending on the context, obviously, because air obviously is very quick moving through things. When you commit to something, again, depending on what it is, it's difficult for you to move out of that, or you may not realize how much of an impact, whether beneficial, neutral, or malevolent, it has on you for long term. And so you're being asked to be more conscientious about what you are committing to. Even if it's something for the short term, please be fully aware and fully intentional and proactive, and make sure that what you say yes to is purposefully used, can be purposefully used, Leo energy, to and in service to, in submission to the Aquarius long-term goal and vision. Okay, moving on now to the cycle that is closing that you need to let close and not backtrack into. Here's Hermit. I kept saying it. At the bottom of the deck, you got 2 cards. Death card. Listen, let dead things die. With the Ace of Wands. So there's actually 2 messages with this. Death card is literally let dead things die. If it's not working, if it hasn't worked, if it's on its way out, leave it alone. You don't need to go back to whatever it is that you know is closing out. Okay, let it go. Now, this Ace of Wands is something that I think is a sneaky way that air signs can let themselves be distracted and get pulled off course. This Ace of Wands is the shiny thing. This is the thing that is titillating, is exciting, it's fun, and it's a place where you can inadvertently make investments that are not aligned with the long-term vision and goal. It's not to say that you can't have fun, but this energy, more often than not, has been, because there's been a lack of focus here, has inadvertently been an area of sabotage. So it's not bad in and of itself, but because, again, there's no conscientiousness, this sabotages the ability to focus here, because you end up being involved in whatever this is connected to, start putting investments in places that are actually not going to be providing long-term fulfillment. Ace of Wands is the Aries energy, but the Aquarius energy is connected to Leo. So it's a much more mature, stable, consistent energy over time. This is fleeting. So being able to recognize this is key. You may have to do a lot more effort in recognizing where this Ace of Wands shows up in your life, and double down on being able to say no. I'm sure you know what that is, because the Hermit is here. There is inner wisdom, so you know what it is. And also, excuse me, because it is the Hermit, there is mastery in being able to say no, because the Hermit doesn't just show up, if you're in the beginning stages. Like, there is mastery here. So you're already doing the good work of saying no and not letting yourself be distracted, or not letting yourself invest in something that is actually not in alignment long-term with this. So keep doing that, right? But I think of these 2, this Ace of Wands is probably that place where air signs will probably have the most challenge as they go through this transition of stepping into the highest trajectory path for themselves right now. All right. Moving on. Any questions on those messages for air signs? Okay, water signs. So Cancer, Scorpio. Happy birthday, Scorpios. And Pisces. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. What do y'all need to focus on? This is so fucking petty. Not the mystery card. And the bottom of the deck is the star card. Underneath that is the Ace of Cups. It's just not going to be simple, is it? Water signs, you have to go into the unknown. You have to, which really just means a place where you don't have control, and it requires, still being mindful of your own long-term goals and desires, but also still being very acutely aware of how spirit is moving. As a water sign, this is annoying to hear, but let me get some clarifying messages on this, since this is like literally just like the great mystery. What is unknown that can be known to us right now to focus on within this? Within the great mystery. In general, the great mystery itself. Source, Holy Spirit, God, whatever, however you want to name it and call it. So the thing with this, before I get more cards, or before I get cards out to clarify, is in particular when we're talking about the great mystery, as it relates to, you know, what we're talking about today. It's that which is beyond what we know and understand. Which means we also have to be willing to suspend what we already know. Screams and water dominant, right? Listen, you feel me? I just, also as someone with like a stellium and planets in the 12th house, like I just, okay. But yeah, this is what it is to be at the threshold, to be at the void, or, you know, facing the great mystery. You know, you have the tools and knowledge and wisdom, structures, experiences, etc. All is important in value, and it's not that it necessarily gets discarded, i.e. devalued. But when faced with this, there has to be a willingness to actually let it go and be open to whatever else is there. It's a challenge because there's nothing seemingly to hold on to like get bearings, or to give you like, you know, a framework of understanding, or a way to kind of like, yeah, it's like trying to understand the ocean. Like, how do you, or trying to understand space. Like, we know so much, and yet there is still so much that is unknown. So, well, thank you, Spirit. One of the things that is important is, first and foremost, just observing. Observation is the first step of recognition, or even seeing and perceiving, right? Like observing. And sometimes that can happen directly, sometimes it happens indirectly. Like, you might not see it, you can see how something is influencing something else, right? The space between the objects, the space between notes rather than the notes themselves. Clarifier. Oh, this isn't fun energy. Ugh. All right. One second. Damn it. Okay. These are the cards. I was like checking on, like, is this? All right. First signs. So bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Swords, which is a contentious energy, right? The cards that came out for clarification of this, that it's interesting that this is coming out for the what to focus on. Well, at a personal level, it's not, because with working with the elements, this has definitely been coming through. But I just assumed that was more of like a personal message, but it seems like this is actually just in general the nature right now for water energy at this stage, which is really more so, I'll show you the cards, of dealing with the unsavory things. Previously, that's been more so how the fire energy has shown up for me. It's been more that warrior energy, but it's feeling now like with this transition that, oh, it's so interesting. It's feeling like the fire and air polarities are essentially changing the guard or changing the function. And I'm saying this is interesting because this remind me of when I was getting the messages for the signs a few months ago. I forgot which Oracle Talks that was, but when I got to Taurus and Scorpio, I remember mentioning like how the energy felt flipped, where, oh yeah, I think it was like Lightworker Roles in Heaven. I forgot what the title was, but y'all know what I'm talking about if you've been with me the past couple months. But yeah, how like the Taurus energy now feels like it's associated with the death energy, which is traditionally what Scorpio is connected to. In that now Scorpio feels like it's more associated with like Taurus. That's kind of like what seems to be happening here, this flip of this quote unquote warrior or protecting, defending energy that normally is associated with the air, or excuse me, with the fire, showing up more so with the water energy. And then vice versa, how the fire is now leaning more towards like devotion, spirit, relationship with spirit, inner nature, true soul nature, like all of that kind of vibe. Let me know if that has been showing up for you. Not even necessarily like these particular elements, but if it feels like any of these kind of like archetypal energies, whether it's, you know, the zodiac signs, whether it's the elements, whether it is whatever, if it feels like there is a change in assignment, a change in role, or a change of association or function, I'm curious, because I haven't been noticing this with anyone or anyone mentioning it. So yeah, if when something like this comes up, because it's such a big shift, I do definitely want to see if that's being picked up in the spirit by other folks, or what have you. So yeah, if you, whether you're on IG or YouTube, definitely let me know if that is resonating. But anyway, cards coming out for water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces are Nine of Swords, Fool, King of Swords, Eight of Cups, and Devil. So on a personal level, this is like specifically looking at those things that, or being aware, open to that which is unknown being made known to you about challenges, regardless of context, that you may come across entering into this new phase and being, how do I how do I say this without being rude? Not approaching this new path, this new territory, this new stage of life like a lamb. Like not entering that space, entering this space of newness with this like naivete, without having like your wits about you, without assuming or expecting that everyone has your best interest at heart, that you're automatically safe, right? Because that is, something that can come up with water signs. Not always, but it can come up. It's like this pie in the sky kind of way of walking through life, seeing the best in folks because you see their spirit and letting that dominate rather than the truth of their actions and how they're showing up, or the truth of institutions acting and how it is showing up, and not bypassing what's happening in the physical to prioritize the spirit when the other, whatever the other is, person, place, or thing, is not actually prioritizing that. When it relates to you getting your personal needs met or your personal safety in the physical world. Now, of course, obviously, yes, you can in the spirit, but when it, again, it's coming to investments and commitments and what you are building for yourself in this human incarnation, as well as your spiritual development, you look at the spirit of the thing and the works of the thing. It's a both and. And be open to seeing where the not goodness, this Nine of Swords is. With this King of Swords, I really love this because it's another indication that there's a lot of support, not only in your physical human community, but also in the spirit to help guide you and provide you and give you a heads up about things. So as much as you, do that work of preparing yourself and working towards that, which it is that you want, you also need to be like, okay, well, based off of what I'm stepping into, how do I need to prepare myself to defend, to protect, to deal with conflict that will be arising? Not if it arises, but when it arises. What are these hidden malevolent players? I'm not going to say obstacles because obstacles are necessary in the path, but this energy is not obstacle. Nine of Swords, especially with the Devil card showing up. This is that new levels, new devils thing. Eight of Cups here. Ooh, this is a message. Okay, water signs. This again is speaking to what I was saying earlier about not filling in for the good that you see, the possibilities that are there, when it's not being acted upon or shown in the actions of whoever or whatever other is, right? Like, don't be trying to fill these other cups with your energy as a way to control, because that's really what that is using your spiritual power to try to control that person, place, or thing showing up in the way that you prefer, or passively aggressively trying to emotionally manipulate into them with passively aggressively emotionally manipulating them into doing what you want them to do. That is still, a thing. But those cups should be filled by the truth of what you're coming across, and you stay within your power. Like, that's important. But yeah, this double energy too. There's so much with this. For folks who have water here that this is speaking to, is this resonating? Because there is conflict here. Like, I can't even get around it. Welcome, folks who are coming in. I can't even get around it. You saw me like clarify to see these were the messages, and they are. So there's that. But again, in terms of what we're building, as I was speaking about the spiritual, specifically the spiritual side of things, like going after or like actively pursuing where the obstacles, the malevolent energy is, physical and or spiritual. Like, it has to be addressed. There's no wiggling around that. So as I mentioned earlier, this could be past life stuff coming up that you got to address. This could be ancestral stuff that's coming up that you got to address. This could be people, places, and things around you that are associated with particular opportunities that are presenting themselves in a certain kind of way. And you need to see things for what they are. And again, not show up like a lamb, and instead show up like wolf. And wolf doesn't just like automatically attack, but it is to be respected, because the fullness of itself is showing up. So there's not any kind of like walking around as wolf in sheep's clothing, as in like wolf hiding in sheep energy. Like, you're just showing up as, like, you need to show up as wolf. And that will also help expose this energy as well. Welcome to folks coming in. Okay, does that resonate? Yeah, and just overall, again, these are not necessarily one come off of water signs, as you can see me like struggling with this. But yeah, it's just this thing of like is just proactively going after the bullshit that you see. And knowing and understanding that I guess there's hidden enemies. I was looking further down the deck and the devil card is like right underneath. So whatever this is has to be faced. And it's being faced head on. Let me get some more, like, this is just so apologies, but you know, I don't want to be leaving my water signs with like this energy. Any other messages or guidance around this? Princess of Wands, 5 of Cups, 2 of Cups. Listen, what's up? And this is very much a clearing the energy of obstacles and challenges, as well as being open and available to perceiving where the unknown ones are and addressing it, and actually like expecting the hidden enemies and not work in both the physical and the spirit, and probably showing to address it. There's no there's no other thing around that. All right, so let's see the cycle that's closing, since that needed to be that message for what you are focusing on for the goal and the desire. So you're just bringing on the dark so that the new can flourish. It was not even so much of like building the new, but it's like bringing down the dark so that the ecosystem for the proliferation and stabilization of the new can continue without obstruction. So that's just the work, water signs. Okay. Cycle that is closing for water signs: Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So what you need to let die or not go back to: 4 of Pentacles and the Emperor card with the 7 of Pentacles. Interesting. So 4 of Pentacles can talk about control. It can be a miserly energy, being set in your ways, stuck in your ways. This combination all talks about control overall, whether that is like being hypervigilant in control with self, or a lack of control, a lack of discipline. It also can talk about trying to be controlling towards others, people, places, and things, or a lack of, exhibiting enough control as it relates to what you actually have jurisdiction over with people, places, and things outside of you. Okay. Both of these relate to power and resources and abundance in particular. So there are things around this that have to be left in the past, whatever that is. The 7 of Pentacles is that investment and assessment card for me. I'm an earth sign, but strangely, this came up on my feed and it makes sense. Yeah. Oh, welcome. I haven't gotten to earth energy yet, but I'm glad it is resonating because we're still on border signs. I was getting more clarification as the Eight of Cups with the Temperance. Yeah, this is, I mean, honestly, like it's feeling like needing to be more emotionally free. I mean, emotions disappear, but there's just a lot of holding. Yeah, this double four. There's a lot of holding, a lot of shutting down, a lot of closing off, a lot of not acknowledging and accepting what's really going on, whether it's internal or like practically in facts in your life, especially as it relates to material abundance, because this is like very much physical reality stuff. Very different from the goal to focus on. But yeah, in general, there has to, the rigidity and approach, I'll say it that way, in person, place, or thing, that's old cycle stuff. That's what has to be let go of. Again, you probably already know, but you don't want to stay locked into this. You need to be much more pliable, not fickle, but pliable. Okay. All right, we're going to move on and go to earth signs. So it's going to be Taurus, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Wherever you have this in your chart, let's see what you need to focus on most as it relates to your goals and desires. Also, single card. Everybody's getting single cards for this. Cancer, this has felt kind of confusing. Yeah, no, I listen, I feel you on that. So briefly to recap for water signs, in terms of what you have to focus on as it relates to your goals and desires, the main thing that's actually going to keep you on track is essentially both in the spirit as well as in the physical. Essentially show up to play the game and understand and know that there are those people, places, and things that do not have your best interest at heart. And instead of walking through life with this kind of Pollyanna feminine way of showing up, I put that in quotes, to instead be like, no, I actually do know and understand and expect there to be this conflict showing up, whether it is outwardly showing, which is going to be more on the rare side. More often than not, it's going to be indirect. And I need to constantly be in communication with Spirit, Source, Creator, Holy Spirit, Great Mystery, whatever you want to call it, to be mindful and to be prepared and to be have my defenses up, be able to protect myself, to essentially take off the rose-colored glasses and know that I'm in new territory. And essentially that phrase of new levels, new devils is true. Right? Like that is what you have to focus on. It's not that you necessarily need to be clear about what it is you want. There's no necessarily like internal stuff you have to work through. Like that's not the thing. The goal is address the obstacles, however it's showing up, and go after it because it actually is a big deal. Water signs, these kinds of issues have a direct impact on your physical life. The things that are unknown, unseen, the spiritual, etc., have a direct impact on your wellness, your physical health, your money, all of those things. So that message is essentially, I'm gonna redo the Earth timestamp. So that's essentially saying that know your nature, know the impact that the non-physical or the unknown essentially has on you. Be real about that, be honest about that, accept it, and move accordingly. Okay? Which means you have to prioritize spiritual things and know that that is the key, or that's the key that's actually going to make the biggest impact on you staying aligned to your highest trajectory path, not so much the other stuff that you may think is important or what's coming up for other people in their messages. This is based off of your nature. And these obstacles that show up in the spirit, as well as in the physical, but especially in the spirit, are not something to put on the back burner. Okay? So again, on some level, everybody has to deal with this, but in particular, if you have water as a dominant feature, whether you have a stellium of planets in a water sign or a water house, or your rising sun, moon, and north node are in water energy, this is really important for you to be mindful of. So I hope that clarifies. And then in terms of cycles that are closing, the hypervigilance and control needs to be released, and there needs to be a lot more pliability. And again, leaning on spirit more rather than necessarily how other people do things. Because if you haven't noticed, following how other people show up, their tools for success don't necessarily work for you long term. They may provide short term benefit, but you move on the path that your own spirit, your own soul has for you. Like you are submitted, whether you realize it or not. Okay, so I hope that brought clarity for the water signs. I know that message was all over the place because it was a lot of negative energy showing up. So, but hopefully that brought clarity, but let me know if you still need clarity. So let's do earth signs. Earth signs now. So, okay, so Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, you have the 10 of Swords. Bottom of the deck is Ace of Pentacles. So your energy has shown up. So what you need to focus on is this 10 of Swords. Interesting, 1 second. Vegan Cam, did that provide clarity? Welcome to folks who are coming in on IG. One moment, folks. Okay, so this is more of an internal work to do, similar to what came through for the fire signs. So it's essentially like doing some internal weeding. So the most important focus right now for you is to essentially do some internal excavation of your thoughts specifically. Because this Ten of Swords is about like actually closing a cycle, like finishing something out. And so there's some weeds that are there that you are aware of and that you know of, and you have the time right now. Like it's a sacred time of pause while you work through these things. And you know, again, it's going to be behavior patterns, beliefs, it's things that you know, but you will be able to actually like uproot whatever these weeds are. But yeah, it's internal mental stuff, belief system stuff that has to be addressed. That you're already aligned with your high trajectory path, but in order to again keep the soil healthy, essentially, you want to get rid of the weeds. And that's really just the stuff that you're bringing to the situation. And whatever these weeds are what they're going to be. So again, like I said, it's probably most likely just going to be mental belief system stuff. But you know, for some of you, it could be past life things that are coming up. It could be ancestry stuff. It could be family stuff. It could be you know, insecurities, low self-esteem about, you know, you being in a new position or new relationship or whatever. There's a lot of things it can be, but again, it would be known to you. And you should already have a sense that there's no need to like be pushing right now. That kind of patience and time with self is important. In particular, earth signs, your emotions are going to be key to actually giving you direction and clarity about where the focus needs to be, or where like these weeds are, quote unquote, hiding. So I know that can be uncomfortable for earth signs, but again, I think that you're well equipped to sit with that and do that. Welcome to folks coming in. So now let's see the cycles that are closing that you need to let die and make sure you don't go back to. Again, for earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Four of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the Hierophant, with the Strength card again showing up at the bottom. So what is closing? Well, the Four of Swords is literally giving me that vibe of ignoring what's deep in your emotions, subconscious and unconscious. So the ignoring of that is closing out. That has to be faced. The fact that this is the closing out phase reinforces and reaffirms that message about you being equipped right now to do the work that was just advised. So yeah, don't go back to like shutting down and shutting off, essentially. It's interesting to have this Queen of Pentacles and High Priest though in the closing cycle as well. Oh, you know what this is giving? This is giving over nurturance and like overgrowth happening. Like there's no real sense of pruning in this image. It's like the queen is just doting on the pentacle that she has on her hand and not actually continually cultivating the environment, pruning as needed, assessing, planting, even like she's just like settled in to a thing. So that's an old cycle. And that's also why, again, you're having to prune now. Yeah, because look at the earth even around her. Like it's all spotty. There's not even like greenness and richness. I've never paid attention to that before. So yeah, it's just like sitting in old energy, sitting in the memories of things, of what used to be. It's like this nostalgia vibe is what I'm getting. And then the high priest, of course, but this is commitments. This is also ritual, ceremony, which basically just is, a fancy way of saying habits. Being set in ways, being confined to tradition. This could also be giving power away, like thinking that you don't have that wisdom or knowledge and always going to a source outside of you. Again, not to discredit or devalue outside wisdom, but it's a both and, not either or. And even within the both and, it's still secondary to your direct relationship and with the Holy Spirit. But yeah, this feels like oppressive tradition, whatever that's going to be, because that can be a lot of different contexts. Hello to folks coming in on YouTube. So many people. Please say hello. All right. Any questions for the Capricorn messages? Or excuse me, not Capricorn, the Earth sign messages. I don't know why I was thinking about Capricorn, but we are in the last couple of days of Pluto and Capricorn. Pluto is shifting into Aquarius on Tuesday. And of course, Saturn is going direct, even though it's in Pisces, but here we are. All right, no questions? Cool, so I'm gonna get closing messages and we will bounce. I was really trying to have this be a shorter message today, but apparently we're just gonna stay on the 2 hours. 2 hour messages. All right, closing guidance for this full moon in Taurus for all signs. Again, if you would like to support this work with a donation, the information for PayPal is scrolling at the bottom of the screen for folks here on YouTube. On IG, you can go to the link in my bio for that PayPal link. It is much appreciated, your support for the work. Also on YouTube, I do have in the description a link to resources and support for ancestry work, as well as the prayers. Please continue the prayers for the protection of the souls of humanity for this next month. For folks on IG, head over to YouTube to check out those resources because those are there. I'm currently accepting coaching clients. So if you would like to work with me on a by-month basis, you can schedule a free discovery call with me. And then enrollment for the Lightworker Incubator will be opening up at the end of the month. So if you'd like to come through for the next cohort, which I highly recommend, please do. If you are looking to accelerate your own personal spiritual awakening, tap into more of your soul power, get more tools for working with your own energy field, energy body, develop a stronger relationship with your ancestors, as well as be able to more effectively support their elevation and healing and strengthening, open up to more of your spirit team, which of course includes the guardian angels and protectors that walk with you and more. That is the place for you. All right, so closing guidance is Four of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Judgment card. So this card says, Lord of Rest from Strife. So yes, there's been a lot of change, a lot of shifts. Even more is coming, but these messages are similar to what I was saying with in the initial messages, as well as what came through for the fire signs. That path of peace is the path of spirit. Peace does not necessarily mean that it's easy or that it looks peaceful in terms of actions that you take in the external world or even in the spirit, but that alignment that's similar to how you felt in the beginning when I was doing the opening and leading us through connecting to our own spirit and the Holy Spirit. That is your state. That actually is what guides things. That is what helps restore and replenish you. And that is what we should be led by. That is the path of peace. Okay. And from that place, we can act from wisdom, from objectivity, and strategy to align with our highest trajectory path, to align with our path of ascension of consciousness, and to support, the creation of a new and better world. Okay, but that is the call. The Judgment card is a call to do that work. And this is the work at the intersection of your individual life. You are prepared to do so, because the Judgment card also talks about coming back again to a situation. So we've been here before in our lives. The specific circumstance might have been different, but we've been here before. These are big cycles that we are dealing with, okay? So you've been here, you have wisdom, you now get to make a different choice. And you can use the guidance provided here to help you with making that choice and to make sure that you don't re-anchor something that is dead or dying. Thank you so much. Really interesting. Grateful. You are welcome. All right, y'all. So anything, questions, comments, concerns that you have before I bounce? Doesn't have to be related to what I addressed, but anything that is coming up for you, let me know. And then if not, I will skedaddle. And then next week, most likely I'll be doing a specific Pluto and Aquarius channeling. And that will be like the realms. That's what I would like to do. I want to do a bigger spread for that because that's a cycle. But we'll see what Spirit says, because all right, nothing coming up. We good? I think we are. Didn't see any messages, but I do want to give a sec. I know sometimes it takes a while. Okay. I will see y'all, God willing. Bye.